rotting driftwood on the foreign shores, spilling out into the ocean floor, and the memories all you've left without a trace. Paralyzed with the thoughts receding, current sweeps you with the silent bleeding through the heart into the darkest place. Well, turn around, there's nothing to see here. Run away, no reason to be here. It's the ghost who never goes away. Turn around and leave this behind now. You see the ground as it bleeds in the sky now. You fight the sea, you're always gonna drown. All the secrets that you're holding, all the memories you hide, all the frail thoughts that echo in the corners of your mind, they won't even last a moment, they will soon be swept away when the ocean takes you in its arms and carries you away. You carry all your burdens on the cross around your neck. You take whatever's left that you could salvage from the wreck, and the hard past will follow you like a lost dog on the beach, nipping at your trail till you've drifted out of reach. Yeah, turn around, there's nothing to see here. Run away, no reason to be here. It's the ghost who never goes away. Turn around and leave this behind now. See the ground as it bleeds to the sky now. You fight the sea, you're always gonna drown. In a broken line horizon, in the castles made of sand, you tried to hold it in your hands, you tried to understand it. The ocean asks the questions, and it holds the answers too. It dissolves away the lies about the things you thought you knew.
Hello, my friends. 'Tis I, Dame Armiger Kaliranya. My heart and my sword are yours. And 'tis I, Adralath Karakai II, bastard son of a real bastard. Your hearts are mine. And we have with us, as we have for an entire 19, thank you Stephen King, streams previous, John the BloodRedTiger. Welcome once more to the channel. Hi.
Hello. Hi.
And we are perhaps against all odds as far as my track record in completing stream series of things in general, closing in on the end of our much beloved Buffy the Vampire Slayer fanfiction, The Sunnydale Imp. We are on chapter 73 out of 77. Now, normally we've hit like 3 or 4 chapters. That's a bit more than that, but I think for the conclusion, we can push all the way through. And I think you said that some of these are a little bit more rapid fire of chapters than have been the norm previous, right?
Yeah.
So
We did 5 chapters on one of the early streams.
oh,
as
right,
well.
yeah, we did one of them. Yeah, it was usually it's been 3 to 4, but yeah, sometimes it happens. And today should be one of those days. Though, 21 is actually a nice number too, blackjack and all, but it's not, VTuber round. We are in the midst of a pitched battle. The duo of Buffy and Mickey the Imp are contending with a trio of invulnerable insect demons. There's a mage, a swordswoman, and a colossus, a giant, a brute, all of which have, over their demonic lives, accumulated by sort of pulping down other entities and extracting their magical secrets via a sort of hive mind feeding process called the Understanding, assembled a suite of immunities. It's kind of like playing the classic traditional roguelike NetHack, where you run around eating monsters to become immune to the dangers that monster is either also immune to or capable of inflicting. You eat the red dragon to become fire resistant. You eat the frost jelly to become cold resistant, and so on and so forth. Yeah, it's basically like that. So they can't be restrained. They can't be ensorcelled. They cannot, in fact, be punched meaningfully. You kind of slam them with an impact, and they go skating across the ground or flying through the air, but suffer no lasting injury from it. The closest that Mickey has managed thus far is to kind of stun one of them for a while by setting off grenades in skin contact proximity. But the fight, the only attrition that has occurred has been on the good guys' side, really, with them starting to get fatigued, perhaps. And yeah, Mickey got chopped up pretty good. Got her arm broken. She fixed it. She got better. That's just, this character can't suffer lasting harm. That's just not how the story works. So
there was a magic blast.
Oh yeah, that's right. She tried to.
She absorbed it because she was trying to absorb a spell at the time.
Yeah. She, the trick that I thought that was going to end this fight, she tried to absorb the invulnerability magic from the brute, or was it from the brute, or was it from the girl?
Yeah, it was from Crooks. He was the invulnerable.
Yeah, he was the invulnerablest. Yeah. So, but it turns out that they're heavily protected against magic siphoning as well. There was a retaliatory spell trap that went off and blasted her pretty good, knocked her out of, kind of stunned her well enough that she wasn't able to teleport away, and that's how she got her arm broken. But all that pretty much healed up, and she and Buffy are just now conferring as to how the hell do we how do we beat enemies that are just sort of notionally unbeatable? How do you get around that? It seems like kind of not a thing, so we'll find out. It is chapter 73, Such is How We Learn. Yeah, I'm kind of skipping over the how was my week yapping. It was not a good week. I let's just say I'm up to 5 incidents of major grief and loss for me personally this year. Yay. That's a new record for a year. Not a high score I was aiming for, but good enough. Let's get reading. We got several chapters to get through after all. So what's plan B? Asked Buffy. Look out! Shouted Mickey. Here they come! Plan B would have to wait, as the monsters chose that moment to attack as a group. As before, the giant was the slow-moving center of the team, with the flying woman attempting to harry the girls into his path, and the wizard lobbing his long-ranged acid bolts from a safe distance. But this time, the girls could sense a difference. The monsters looked shaken, less unified in their purpose. The giant was slower, more cumbersome, tired. The woman was erratic, unbalanced, desperate to recover her weapon, and the wizard knew that his energy bolts were nothing more than a distraction. Ah, right, yeah. Was it Buffy has one of the flying gal's 2 swords?
And a shield, I think.
And a shield, right, yeah. They were just going through the motions, carrying on with their original plan because they had nothing else. It's like they've worked out their best strategy and can't do anything else. Buffy smirked. That's it, she shouted, jubilant. They're insects. Mickey blinked. So, bug spray? Probably not, conceded the Slayer. I mean, I know why they want to steal your, naughtiness or whatever. They want to become something different. The conversation was interrupted for a while as the female bug warrior dropped down next to Buffy and whirled her right-angled blade in a dizzying pattern of strikes. To Buffy's trained eye, however, the attacks were off balance, incomplete, 1/2 of a pair. She was able to block them easily with the shield and land a few strikes of her own. They did no apparent damage, but with each hit the woman grew more and more agitated. With only one weapon, she could attack or defend, whereas Buffy could do both at once. Without her protective magic, the woman would have been killed 12 times over, and she knew it. She threw herself at Buffy like a madwoman, ignoring the unarmed imp in an attempt to recover her stolen weapon. Bug spray is a kind of nerve gas. It's not a bad suggestion, yeah. Probably already covered in their roster of immunities, but yeah. Mickey also noticed the woman's bizarre ferocity and decided she'd had enough. The woman wanted her sword back? Too damn bad. The imp skirted around the pair, casually blocking a couple of acid blasts en route, waiting for an opportunity. There. Buffy deflected the woman's blade with her own, then slammed the shield down onto the woman's knee. The woman skipped back, cursing, and paused to brandish her weapon while she hissed some kind of challenge. Mickey teleported over and snatched the weapon in midair. She blinked to Buffy's side before the woman could react, and there was a comical half-second as the warrior realized she was completely disarmed. No, John. No, Rain. I said a kind of nerve gas. You don't need to correct me. A type of nerve gas. The woman's expression of dismay turned back to rage, and then horror, as Mickey casually snapped the blade over her knee and tossed the broken shard away. She then crushed the handle, wrecking the folding mechanism, and bent the thing into a twisted mess. There was a moment's silence, and Mickey dropped her captured prize onto the floor with a dull clank.
You wanted naughtiness and rule breaking? You got it.
Buffy chuckled. I think you made her mad.
Good.
Mickey grinned and beckoned at the woman.
Come get some.
Buffy stepped aside as the woman spread her wings and lunged at Makisha. The imp teleported out of danger, and the woman's outstretched claws closed on empty air. She twisted around and charged in the opposite direction, frustrated again and again as Mickey led her a merry dance, away behind a building and out of sight. Spray against bugs, spray for bugs, spray made of bugs. All the different things that bug spray could be. And sometimes you get an idiomatic use of a thing like that that really has nothing to do with any of it. Like in Scouts, you'd refer to like Tang, like the kind of like powdered orange drink, as bug juice. So,
Ew.
yeah.
Why?
I
What
don't
do they
know. Shrug? If I had to guess at all, maybe it originated by, it being so, sugary that you'd get gnats or things like landing in it as you're trying to drink it. Because you got this kind of sugary drink and you're out camping, yeah. Oh, Scalpel says that by her parents too, the bug juice thing. Tradition, yeah. So if I spray wasps at a bee colony, pretty sure that makes it bug spray. Yeah. Yeah. Spray bug, yeah, anyway. Bug juice became so common a term that they made a brand of drink named that. Cute. Yeah, that happens. Let's see. Okay. Buffy stepped aside as the woman spread her wings and lunged at Makisha. The imp teleported out of danger, and the woman's outstretched claws closed on empty air. She twisted around and charged in the opposite direction, frustrated again and again as Mickey led her a merry dance, away behind a building and out of sight. Buffy wasn't worried. The flying woman was fast and tough, but she seemed lost without her weapons. Mickey had far superior skills and would wipe the floor with her. However, her absence left Buffy to face both the giant and the wizard by herself, or rather, to avoid the giant and block the wizard's magic blasts. Even with such lethal stakes, it made for an aggressively tedious stalemate. She entertained herself by seeing how close she could get to the wizard before he panicked and swapped places with the giant. If she could lure the giant into following her when she charged the wizard, she could maybe get the two into a position where switching places wouldn't help. But then he'd just swap places with the flying woman. Buffy sighed and deflected yet another acid bolt. The heavy shield was suffering under the repeated onslaught, but as she understood it, the shield wasn't actually real, and certainly wasn't made from actual steel, which apparently meant it was way denser and less dissolvey than normal metals. Useful but amazingly heavy, and Buffy quietly marveled again at the imp's physical power. God, I'm glad she's on our side. This whole thing could have gone down very differently, especially with my Slayer sense developing a major hate on. And if Makisha had turned out to be evil, genuinely, murderously evil, Sunnydale wouldn't have stood a chance. The girl would have killed everything in her path, gorged on dark magic, and set about conquering the world. That said, she wasn't unstoppable, and could well have met her match with these three monsters. Maybe she couldn't tackle the monsters on their own terms, But fighting the unarmed bug lady down on the ground, that she could manage. In fact, Mickey was honestly having fun tormenting the poor woman. Every time she tried to take to the air, Mickey would teleport up and drag her back down to Earth, where she would deliver the most humiliating, annoying, confusing attacks she could dream up. Mickey casually deflected a flurry of fast but predictable slashes from the woman's claws and retaliated with a stinging open-hand slap right on her ear. Mickey was betting the woman's hearing was sensitive, perhaps even a weakness. Oh, Yuzu, you taking notes? We were discussing the practice of slappage last night for reasons. Good lord, you're as bad as I am. Well, I mean, we do occupy the same head. The bug woman screamed in pain and shock. Her head didn't pop, which was disappointing, but it was a start. Mickey seized the initiative to lunge forward, grab the woman's hair, and pull her over, giving a kick to the back of her knee to help the process. The imp then sat on the woman's back and began smashing her face into the ground. Well, probably the kicking and face smashing might be a bit much, but hair pulling, hair pulling, good. The big guy had implied a preference for honorable combat, but devils were masters of fighting dirty, and Mickey was no exception. In fact, she was something of a master. It might not be doing any damage, but it was kind of fun. Buffy was still mid-thought when the imp came running back, grinning all over her face. She fell in beside the Slayer, matching her retreat from the pursuing giant. "One down," she crowed. "Down?" asked Buffy. "As in dead?" "No, I locked her in a dumpster." They took cover a short distance from the wrecked van and paused to catch their breath. "You know dumpsters don't have locks, right?" "I crimped it shut," replied Mickey, miming the motion with her hands. "And then I flipped it upside down. She won't get out in a hurry anyway. The dumpster was at least half full." Buffy shrugged. That did sound like quite an impediment. Okay, 1 down, 2 to go. The imp frowned. "Actually, I was thinking now would be a good time to run away." The Slayer raised a brow. "Seriously? I mean, yeah, some book smarts would help about now, but it kind of feels like we've got them on the ropes." Mickey shook her head. "They can hurt us, but we can't hurt them without doing something crazy. Hey, why don't we climb up on the roof? Then we'd only have the wizard to worry about." "Until Mr. Lumpy knocks the building down underneath us. That'd be bad. Uber bad. Muchly of the badness." "Well, we've got one weapon between us, and even that's no use against these guys, so I was thinking... Oh, hey!"
I rather think, given the circumstances, that a certain degree of discretion might be in order.
Xander looked at the librarian with a look of pure puzzlement.
I'll run that by us again, with less British and more English.
Giles pulled the car over quietly and frowned.
We stop here, go in on foot, and don't announce our approach by shouting. Stealth approach. Got it. Weapons? In the boot. Trunk. On it.
They hurried to the back of the vehicle, and Giles retrieved a sword, an axe, and a crossbow. He handed the latter to Willow, who nodded grimly and checked it over. It was already loaded. The sounds of battle were easy to follow, as this formerly industrial area was mostly abandoned and typically quiet at this time of night. Crashes, heavy footsteps, and the clash of blades led the Watcher and his 2 charges to a scene of devastation. Demolished brickwork and a wrecked vehicle dominated the scene.
Hey, whoa, don't step in that.
hissed Xander, pointing at a patch of glowing yellow liquid on the ground.
Looks pretty nasty.
Giles, ever curious, crouched for a closer look.
Some kind of caustic acid.
He ventured.
It's actually burned a hole into the asphalt.
Willow's eyes were wide. Buffy could be hurt. And Mickey. Giles nodded grimly.
And the noise suggests at least one of them is still fighting. Stay out of sight until we see what they're up against.
The kids nodded, and Xander gestured toward the wrecked van.
That's the van they were chasing. I guess they caught up with it. Most likely the scene of an ambush, and it didn't go to plan.
Willow gasped. There they are. They're okay. Buffy and Makisha did indeed look healthy enough, at first glance. Buffy had picked up a short spear from somewhere, and a flat rectangular shield that looked decidedly modern, while Makisha looked somewhat the worse for wear. Her hair was a matted mess, and her armored suit was missing the entirety of one sleeve and part of the other. Her bare arm was streaked with blood and gore, of thankfully unknown origin. Crouching behind cover, Giles narrowed his eyes. The girls were hiding, talking in hushed tones, pausing for breath, which suggested their opponents were either too numerous or too powerful to tackle in their usual foolhardy manner. Given the slaughter at the college football stadium, Giles found himself wondering just what got themselves into.
Hey, who's that guy?
Asked Xander, pointing with his weapon. A male figure, hunched and wounded, was sneaking toward the girls' hiding place, clutching a battle axe with obvious intent. Without a second's hesitation, Giles set down his sword and took the crossbow from Willow, sighting it between the man's shoulder blades. Buffy turned to follow Mickey's gaze as Murgon screamed and staggered out into the open. The Slayer gave a little cheer. He still had the axe, which was a yay, and he was still alive, which meant she could kill him. If she survived this day without killing any of these guys, she was going to be a cranky Slayer for the rest of the week. The man twisted as he walked, flailing and trying to reach something on his back. Buffy prepared to charge, but Mickey was way faster. The imp teleported right to the man and snatched the axe from his hand. He stared in shock as she swung the weapon back around in a broad arc, over her head and down onto his shoulder. The axe bit deep, cleaving most of the way through his torso and shearing the half-demon in two. Mickey turned back to Buffy.
Ooh, this one works just fine. You want it?
She waved the blood-streaked weapon in the air, happily, but Buffy looked past her in horror as Giles, Xander, and Willow emerged from behind a low wall. What are you guys doing here? She cried.
Witnessing a spectacular victory over evil?
Supplied Xander.
Or failing that, dramatic rescue. The G-mobile's back this way.
Mickey poked Murgon's mangled corpse with her toe.
Aha! This guy's got a crossbow bolt in him. That explains the funky dance moves.
Giles rather unceremoniously handed the crossbow back to Willow, who stared at him in disbelief. You shot him in the back. He could have been human. Buffy shook her head. Nope, demon. Half demon at least. He had the whole glowy eyes thing going on. Giles coughed.
Yes, quite. Plus the rather obvious evil intent towards the two of you.
His grim expression made it clear that he didn't give two hoots about glowing eyes. Anybody threatening his slayer would face the Ratcher's wrath. Willow took a nervous half-step away and hefted the crossbow for Buffy to see. We brought weapons, she said, and moral support. Buffy smiled briefly before scowling at the Watcher. Weapons won't work on these guys. Guns, swords, grenades, stakes, nothing. They're completely impervious to everything we can throw at them. Mickey tilted her head.
Well, we haven't tried everything. A magic weapon might work, if it's powerful enough.
Xander made a show of sarcastically patting his pockets.
Damn, wouldn't you know it? I left Excalibur in my other pants.
Mickey ignored him and reached out her hand, extending her magical senses into the other realm, where her pitchfork waited. It was there, ready and waiting. But she felt something else, an additional energy that didn't fit. She frowned and realized the others were looking at her funny. Buffy seemed especially agitated. That's your pitchfork, isn't it? Is that thing pure evil or what? Because when you reach out like that, I can sense it, and it does not feel good. Mickey shrugged.
It was a gift from my mother, so yeah, of course it's evil. It's sitting in a little pocket hell right now, charging up and waiting for me to summon it.
Xander leaned back and glanced around.
Do we really have time to discuss this? There's a hilariously huge guy headed this way.
Giles sighed and massaged his temples.
Try the magic weapon, and if there's any sign that it's not effective, we run. Understood?
They all nodded and took a step back as Mickey summoned her pitchfork. It appeared in her hand instantly as her fingers closed around the haft, as though it had always been there and was only now visible. It was technically a trident, not a pitchfork, and not especially impressive scaled to suit Mickey's short stature, but it was undoubtedly magical. Buffy could feel it. They could all feel it, and Mickey twirled the thing experimentally. 2 long rune-marked pennants, fastened to the head, fluttered and swirled in the air.
Something's not right, she said, frowning. It seems okay, but something's off. I felt something extra, some other power, but it's gone now.
She shrugged, lacking the words to properly convey her concerns.
You draw magic from the environment, right?
Suggested Willow.
Maybe it's doing the same, picking up something from those guys? I don't think that's it, but whatever.
Mickey took a breath and stepped out to face her enemies.
I'ma go kill some monsters now.
Yeah, what's up, John?
Yep. Just saying. I do the voice of the next bit.
You do the voice? Okay, got it.
Okay.
The ziggurat of everlasting love was crowded, but the lesser beings still hurried aside as the powerful warrior strode through their midst, coming to a halt before a pool of blazing white light.
I am here.
He announced, addressing the master of the observatory.
Speak.
And...
This could be anybody.
Okay. I guess we'll hand it over to Addie. He hasn't had much to do today.
Wing Captain, the Sentinels report an incursion in the mortal realms.
The 8th plane, as before.
Yes, Wing Captain. A conduit, resulting in a fully manifested breach.
The wing captain looked down into the blazing white pool.
I stand ready. This is my purpose.
Blick, wizard of the Valnite Trine, sensed Mayhew's distress through their shared link and followed the trail to find a strange metal box. Curious, he crouched down and rapped his knuckles on the side.
Are you in there?
He asked, suppressing the urge to laugh at his colleague's misfortune. A muffled yell sounded from within, so he quickly set about using his acid to melt a hole. Once he burned through the nearest wall, a tide of stinking filth and detritus began to fall through. Presumably Mayhew was trapped beneath, which must have taken a remarkable feat of ingenuity. He threw some more acid on the metal and stepped back to study the trap. Of course. A container of waste material with a flat lid. Once lured inside, the container was inverted, and the lid secured in place by bending. The warrior was magically proofed against most forms of capture, and would not suffocate despite being buried, but Blick could see they would need to improve their defenses against such methods. Such is how we learn, he reflected. Such is how we evolve and overcome. He threw more acid on the lower edge of the container, letting it burn through the crimped edges.
Brooks, he called. We have need of your strength.
A pulse of acknowledgement rippled through their magical link. Grux would have their winged compatriot free in a matter of moments, and she would be quick to claim their revenge. Blick readied himself and pulled on the link, simultaneously pouring his essence into the space left behind. He felt the familiar swinging sensation as he shifted through non-space and emerged, hovering in an open space with a commanding view of the girl's hiding place. He blinked. There were more humans now. 3 females plus 2 males, and now all 5 were armed. They stood over the body of Murgon the Broker. Murgon the Broken now. He cracked a grin at his own joke. Either of the girls could have defeated the weakling half-demon by themselves, but even with reinforcements and weapons, they had no chance against the Trine. And now the Devil Girl was walking calmly toward him alone. The others hung back, watching warily. Did she think to challenge him in single combat? Did the foolish girl believe that her weapon would make a single iota of difference? A trident? Blick narrowed his eyes, suspicious, and looked out with his subtler senses. The trident did hold power. Plain black iron to his mundane vision. His inner vision saw it wreathed in coruscating flames. Such power. He must claim it. 1 chapter down. 4 to go. Quick swig of a drink, and I will turn the page. Oh, also, as a quick apropos of nothing aside, continuing to appreciate your recommendation of the Great Pottery Throwdown. We just finished season 5. I think it was 5 or 6. Anyway, the one that came out in 2023, whatever that is. And yeah, I realized that I hadn't thanked you for the additional pleasant surprise. Did not know going in that there was going to be a very cute and talented trans woman as the as the studio technician for several seasons. Rose Schmitz is a delight.
She's not in the most recent season.
Yeah, I did hear that she left the show, and I kind of looked up the reasons for it. That she hasn't come out saying exactly why she left, but given her other commentary on her socials, I think I know why.
I'll ask you later.
Okay, yeah. Alright, chapter 74. You really want it? Blick felt genuine excitement for the first time in years. He would claim the girl for the Trine, and the magical weapon for himself. With it, he would finally be equal to the others in physical combat. He would study the magic and use it to improve the Trine's compound invulnerability. He would probably need to make the haft a little longer so it didn't look like a toy in his hands. The mage pulled in as much of his magic as he could and prepared to show the girl what he was capable of. She had taunted and humiliated his companions without mercy, and while he claimed to be above such petty notions as honor and respect, he was eager to administer a crushing defeat and demonstrate his obvious superiority. He tapped a little of his magic to create 2 acid bolts, 1 in each hand, and prepared to do battle. The girl held the trident behind her back and beckoned with her left hand. Such impudence. Imagine that, an imp being impudent. He admitted to himself that the girl could somehow disarm his magic bolts before they struck, but she should not be so bold. Everybody had limits, and there were ways around most forms of defense. Look at me, just speaking the words of my own undoing. Oh gosh. Okay. For example, she would not defend herself so casually if her friends were wounded. Blick threw the first bolt at the girl, then the second. He immediately brought forth 2 more, and prepared to cast them wide either side of the girl beyond her reach. She vanished before he could test his theory, and Blick panicked, whirling around, hands outstretched. There! He launched both bolts in a panic, all strategy forgotten. The girl simply stepped aside, smirking as the bolts passed them harmlessly by. Blick fumed.
The weapon.
He barked.
Give it to me.
She put her hand on her hip and stared at him like he was an idiot.
Eef.
Well, just gonna ask for it, huh? I guess you guys don't watch much TV.
He just hissed and readied 2 more acid bolts. She smiled, spinning the trident in lazy arcs with a well-practiced wrist motion.
You want this? She asked. You really want it?
Blick nodded.
Oh, well, thank you, Yuzu.
Yeah, before the episode where this trio of bug people were introduced, John kind of gave me the heads up that there were these characters appearing and described them for me. I was like, well, okay, so they're all kind of insect people. I guess I should add a, kind of buzziness to my voice. Let's see how that works. And, yeah, I guess it worked. I guess it did the trick.
I love it.
Yeah. Here goes nothing, thought Mickey. She teleported to a spot right in front of the wizard and used the fork like a staff, batting his hands upward. The acid sparks fizzled out as he lost his concentration and staggered backwards, unwittingly placing himself in perfect stabbing range. Mickey lunged forward and rammed her pitchfork up under the wizard's ribcage. She hadn't laid hands on her beloved magic weapon in weeks, so it was fully charged, nicely steeped in the ambient power of hell. The 3 points flared with power as they met the wizard's shield. In the space of a blink, there was a flash of green flame, an instant of resistance, a flicker of sickly orange light, and the invulnerability spell fractured and blew apart with a sound like breaking glass. Driven by the imp's strength, the tines finally punched through the wizard's robes and tore into his flesh. The barbs inflicted even more damage as Mickey yanked the weapon free and dived backward, away from potential retaliation.
Well, I guess if you need to defeat a trine, you need a tines. You're welcome.
None came. The wizard stared at her in mute horror. His thin hands, pressed to the wound, did nothing to staunch the vile liquids soaking through his robes. He was dead, and he knew it.
Can you heal? She asked him. With your magic?
He stared, uncomprehending, for several long seconds.
Heal? No, I cannot heal.
Good.
Mickey stepped back into range, hefted the pitchfork to shoulder height, and stabbed him in the chest. The weapon's head rammed in horizontally, an attack intended to make absolutely sure it pierced the heart. Some demons had them on the wrong side, or they had 2. The wizard folded up like a bundle of sticks, his limbs collapsing in on themselves as he hit the ground. Mickey yanked the fork free, gave it a little shake to flick the blood off, and glanced around warily. She still had a creepy feeling something wasn't right. Whew! Go, magic pitchfork! Buffy pumped her fist in the air, thrilled and more than a little relieved to see one of the monsters finally go down. Xander sniffed.
Does anybody else smell cookies? Is there a late-night bakery around here?
Willow cried out and pointed at Miki, who was starting to visibly freak out. What's she doing? Mickey knew that smell. She recognized the strange magic now, the trickle of strangeness that had come through at the same time as her fork. Trouble.
Trouble with a capital T. She turned and sprinted back toward Buffy and the others, waving her arms frantically. Trouble! She screamed. Run away! Go! They moved, but slowly, uncertainty on their faces. She skidded to a halt in front of Buffy and grabbed the Slayer's shoulder. Move! Buffy grudgingly relented, confused that the imp would want to leave just as they were on the brink of victory. Back to the car? Yes, unless there's something faster. Go, I'll try to lead it away while you get the others to safety. Lead what away? The giant? Buffy glanced back. They had the fork now. Surely this fight was over? There was a blinding flash of light, and even with her back to the source, Mickey knew what it meant. She spun around, trembling, cold dread clenching around her heart like a fist. A glowing figure stood over the wizard's corpse. It was easily 7 feet tall, a knight in gleaming plate armor, with a hugely ornate silver shield on one arm and a mighty golden sword in his fist. The white light from the helmet's visor was matched only by the shimmering white feathers of the powerful wings folded at his back. Its aura of disapproval was palpable. Buffy gaped. Holy crap, is that... An angel, croaked Mickey. It followed the fork. They must have been watching for something coming through. Buffy shook free of Mickey's grasp. Well, what do we do? We're not gonna have to fight it, are we? See, it's fine. New angel friend. Yeah. Angels are good. That's like, their nature. They're good. They're friendly, right? Mickey turned back to her and stared incredulous. We run like hell before he kills us all. Willow rubbed her eyes, squinting. But angels are good. Maybe it came to help? Xander nodded.
And here are the bad guys, right on time.
The flying woman hung back as the giant stormed towards the angel. The ground shook beneath its pounding footfalls as it ran, huge hands outstretched, his prow-like head lowered like a charging rhino. The angel shifted slightly to meet the attack, shield raised and sword ready. The giant leapt, fists raised for a massive pounding strike. The angel quickly stepped aside, flicking the golden greatsword out once, twice, in wide blazing arcs. The giant slumped in mid-leap. 4 separate pieces hit the asphalt, tumbling chunks sliding on their own gore. A deep voice spoke then.
The book will be cleansed. Good Lord.
Murmured Giles. Even in the Bible, angels cause more problems than they solve. Yeah, they're usually delivering news of some upheaval or kind of showing up when God wants to test somebody or etc. Because there could be more than enough evil angels and even more angels that care not for mortal lives, yeah. Even the good ones know what their reputation is. Be not afraid! And all that, yeah. The winged woman howled in despair and turned to fly away. The angel did not pursue. Instead, it simply raised one arm and unleashed a coruscating beam of actinic white light that lit the night sky. Xander swore as they were all nearly blinded for the second time in a few seconds. The woman wasn't burned so much as disintegrated. Mickey let out a moan of dismay. Oh, this is bad. Really, really bad. We should go. Right now. Right now. Originally, angel and demon are the same thing. It's more political difference. Yeah, that is certainly one way to look at it. Like, the demons or the fallen angels who sort of defected from heaven, in depiction and in a lot of fiction, there's also kind of metaphysical or sort of change of species that happened there, but that isn't the only way to interpret it. Yeah, opposer, that's the term Satan is like adversary. Okay. The angel slowly turned its head to face them and roared.
Devil, you will be removed from the book. That doesn't sound so bad,
whispered Xander, but Mickey had already bolted, running away in blind terror.
What's the big deal? What book?
Yeah, see, if this angel manages to kill Mickey, then John here will need to go back and erase her from the story. She's out of the book. It's just a Buffy story now. Buffy took off after Mickey, and Giles started to drag Xander and Willow in retreat.
I suspect it means the Book of Creation. More accurately, it means to erase Mikisha from creation itself.
The angel spread its wings and slowly raised into the air.
Well, that's bad.
The silver helm glanced their way, and they each imagined it was looking directly into their souls, judging them. Giles swallowed.
Into the car. We're leaving.
No. This is bad.
Mickey looked to be on the verge of tears, and Buffy remembered how badly the imp had reacted when she thought Angel was, well, an angel. This was 1,000 times worse, and Buffy could understand why. That guy was scary powerful. A booming voice, rich and deep, echoed through the night.
You cannot escape, Hellspawn. The light of God will find thee.
Mickey didn't slow down, but her mantra of panic rose into a high-pitched, keening sound. Buffy caught up with the imp and dragged her into an alleyway. Mickey, wait, stop, catch your breath. The imp's dark eyes were huge and wide.
You should get away. It'll be tracking me. They can sense evil.
I'm not leaving you alone, especially not with that thing on the loose. You're certain that's an angel? Mickey pulled a face.
Absolutely. Trust me. It must have been watching the fork, waiting for me to summon it so it could track me down and kill me.
Buffy frowned. Speaking of, where's the fork now?
I put it back. Angels can sense evil. If I was carrying that thing, he'd be all over us in seconds.
Well, that's good thinking. I guess the town itself must be messing up his evil sensing abilities as well, so there's that in our favor. She gave the imp a sharp look. Besides, you're not evil. You're a mutant, remember?
Tell him that. You heard him. He called me a hellspawn. He knows where I'm from.
He saw your wings and jumped to conclusions.
But he's right. I am hellspawn.
Yeah, well, you're one of us now, so he's not killing you without a fight.
You can't fight an angel. They're bad news. Seriously bad news. I've seen that beam wipe out dozens of devils at once.
Well, you know, canonically, a dude once wrestled an angel and won, I think. That was his Bible story. I don't remember the context of it, but there was a thing. What? Really? You've seen angels before?
They attack hell all the time, just wrecking and killing everything they can. Nobody knows why they do it. I mean, we're all part of the same system, right? That's why we make the damned work so hard, building castles and fortresses and stuff, to keep those guys out.
Jacob, yeah. Also, I feel like this particular bit of lore drop, it almost sounds like Mickey is part of the Has-Been Hotel universe. Just the angels going on, like, purges, just going into hell and wrecking stuff. Yeah, there's really not all that much about angels or devils in the Bible itself, yeah. From the Judaism side, it wanders more into the I'm blanking on the name of it. The Talmud, I think. There's a lot of kind of rabbinic discourse on what angels are, what they're for, what they do. And then Christianity, it's like folklore that has been, yeah, depending on your denomination, it's gotten written down. Like from the Catholic side, there's stuff about angels in the Catechism and so on. Jacob's ladder. Jacob accosts a passing angel and demands a blessing. The angel blows him off and Jacob jumps him. They fight on the literal ladder to heaven and Jacob eventually wins. Ah, okay. There's a book that's in the collection that Catholics consider to be the canonical Bible that is not in the Bible that a lot of Protestant denominations use, called the Book of Tobit. And it's this kind of, it sounds like just kind of an adventure story. Guy going on a quest to cure his dad's blindness. And there's a stretch there where an angel basically just comes along on the quest. It's like his just becomes a party member for a while. Kind of like, I don't know, like an elf stepping out of Rivendell kind of deal.
I was thinking like when an Inquisitor's party includes a Space Marine.
Yep. Yeah. There's also a dog that only gets mentioned at the beginning and end of the journey, and so there's all this like footnote work of people like puzzling over what's the deal with the dog? Why is there a dog here? Why is the dog only mentioned twice? Because it's literally like, Tobit left his father's house and the dog followed after, and then when he comes back it's like, oh yeah, and the dog entered the house behind him or something like that, and yeah, I was like, it's just like the presence of God dog backward. Yeah. Some people think that the dog represents Satan. It's just keeping an eye on things. Yeah. Most things are improved by a random dog. True. Yeah. My wife would agree with you. It's dog-inspired bookends. Yes. Nobody started and ended stories with a recurring beat before the dog appeared in Tobit. Yeah, no. Okay. But you do manage to keep them out, right? I mean, they can be stopped? Vicky blinked. Oh, yeah, they're not unbeatable. Especially in hell. They're weaker there, and we've got the home ground advantage and stuff. They can still vaporize dozens of guys, and that's weaker than normal? Yeah, like I said, they're bad news. like literal dog statues on either end of a bookshelf. Yeah, sure, yeah, okay. Very cute. I mean, those do exist. Whether any of them were created with the Book of Tobit in mind, I don't know, but... That was like my favorite book of the Bible when I was in college. It's like, dude, it's just kind of like a fantasy novel. Like a short novel kind of thing. You had a pair of those growing up. Nice. Dog-themed bookends. Bad news for devils, you mean? Not for humans, right? If he can't find you, he'll just go home, right? I don't know. I've never seen one just give up on a hunt. Well, I don't want to have to fight it. That's just wrong on so many levels. Plus, he just took down that big monster guy in 2 seconds flat. If you get in his way, he'll kill you without hesitation. They don't really care about collateral damage. That kind of sucks. Oh, what about the commandments? The whole thou shalt not kill, etc.? Mickey blinked.
Those are for humans. Angels only have one commandment.
Oh, what's that? Maybe we can use psychology on him.
Obey.
Buffy grimaced. Right. Nicely vague there. Doesn't give us much to work with.
Yeah, I mean, if he's here to kill evil stuff, he might not stop at just me.
Mickey tilted her head, thinking,
He didn't even start with me. What if he decides the whole town is evil?
The whole town? You mean because it's crawling with vampires and monsters?
Yeah, the whole place is blanketed with a sort of low-key evil magic. I've been charging up off it the whole time I've been here, so there's no way he can't sense it.
Buffy looked skyward. I don't think he can track you, or he'd be here by now. We should head for the school library and meet up with Giles. Maybe there's something in the books that we can use.
You think the school has a book about how to beat an angel?
Or maybe just banishing one? Can't hurt to look. Giles, meanwhile, was also desperate to get back to his books. He'd never read any reputable accounts of angelic appearances on the mortal plane, but in light of recent events he was willing to suspend his disbelief, especially if there was something he could do to avert a catastrophe. There's got to be a way to twist and turn Obey to the group's advantage, right? We shall see. Maybe that's the Achilles heel, maybe it's a red herring. We'll find out.
White robe, fake beard. Hi, it's me, God.
Yeah, well, you know, we just need Jenny to do up a fake ID and it's like name Yahweh gender all age infinite symbol expires never. Okay. He had no illusions that such a being would pass peacefully through Sunnydale. If it decided, for instance, to stay and eliminate the vampire population, that would involve tracking them all down, winkling them out of their nests and hidey holes, an endeavor that would take days at least. In the meantime, it would inevitably encounter some of the demons or other supernatural creatures, and then they'd never be rid of it. Create a paradox for the angel, making obeying become equal to revolting or something. Yeah, if you fight angels the way you fight robots. You gotta hack them. If the angel actually realized it had arrived this close to a hellmouth, well, the possibilities were terrifying. It didn't say what to obey. At least the way that Mickey put it, no, but I think she was putting it in the simplest possible terms. I don't think that obey as a core metaphysical concept of being means that the angel is the ultimate submissive. That is a different story entirely. Shall I write a fanfic of the fanfic? Let's not. Willow and Xander appeared to be similarly deep in thought as Giles directed the car toward the dubious safety of Sunnydale High School. Xander's eyes suddenly widened, and he held up a finger.
Didn't Mickey say she has a spell that makes her 10 times bigger?
Willow raised her eyebrows. Yes?
Maybe she can use that and scare the angel away. I mean, can you imagine? A gigantic imp?
Giles sighed.
Mikisha is already 10 times her normal size, Xander. Without the spell, she'd be a little under 6 inches tall.
Xander blinked.
Ah. Well, then she could do that instead. Turn it off, shrink back down, and then hide somewhere. You'd never find her if she didn't know she was tiny, right?
The Watcher's left eye twitched as he tried to formulate an appropriately biting response, and it was with considerable relief that he spotted Buffy and Makisha running out of an alley and crossing the street up ahead. He pipped the horn and steered the car over to the side of the road. The brakes squealed as the car lurched to a stop. Yeah, gigantic imp, that doesn't scare her away. That's a challenge, yeah. Cool, though, a kaiju battle between heaven and hell in the streets of Sunnydale would be. The imp and the slayer both whirled around, eyes wide, understandably alarmed by the sudden glare of his headlights. Makisha especially looked to be on the edge of outright hysteria, and it wasn't hard to imagine why. Raised in hell, her fear of celestial persecution was deeply ingrained. She wasn't just frightened. This had all the signs of a fully manifested phobia. Giles creaked the door open and waved at the pair.
We're headed to the school. Get in.
Mickey shook her head.
It's not safe. All in one place. Too much of an easy target.
Xander got out of the car and leaned over the roof.
You're really freaked about this whole angel thing, huh?
Mickey nodded vigorously.
We need to warn people. Spread the word. Raise the alarm.
We can't run around telling people there's an angel in the sky. Willow leaned forward between the seats to join in. People would think we're crazy. The imp stared at them aghast.
You mean people don't believe in angels? But religion?
It's complicated,
began Xander.
People believe angels exist, like as a concept, but not here. Not on Earth in any immediate sense, and certainly not in the sense of being something you need to run away from.
He blinked.
Wait, why are we running away from this guy anyway? Aren't angels the good guys?
Mickey clenched her fists and ground her teeth.
Angels are just monsters, same as any other monsters, except they come from a better neighborhood.
Giles removed his glasses and scratched his cheek.
Surely that's not the case for all the angelic hosts. Have you any idea what type of being we're facing here?
Mickey nodded.
Warrior Archangel. All the more important types are busy doing proper angel stuff.
Well, angels and archangels are technically the two lowest tiers.
Giles clarified for the others.
It could be worse, I suppose.
Cool thing, I had a dream once that I was an angel, and I was, my name was it Constance? Constance, the angel. It was pretty cool. I'll have to find it. I wrote it down in the Dream Diaries channel. I'll have to find the link for you and Yuzu and all. Anyway, technically Wolfram and Hart should have been involved, didn't I now? Wolfram and Hart, are they Buffyverse thing?
Yeah, they're from Angel, mostly. The Wolf, Ram, and Hart are 3 senior partners of some big oogie boogie thing.
Mickey shook with anger and frustration.
Yeah, sure. A single seraphim could wander over and erase the whole town with a stern glance. What we've got is bad enough.
Buffy frowned. What I don't get is why you're so scared of these guys. I thought you said there was a 50-50 chance that one day you'd become an angel? The imp grimaced, horrified.
But I don't want to become an angel. Do you know what you have to do to get into heaven?
Don't know. Read the Bible? Go to church? Believe in God? Suggested Willow.
Live a good life, I imagine?
Added Giles. Xander nodded sagely.
Accept Jesus as your Lord and Savior?
He offered.
You have to be dead!
Exclaimed Mickey. Giles finished polishing his glasses and put them back on.
I'm sure there's rather more to it than that. But it's a useful avenue to investigate if nothing else comes up. Get in the car. I can have us at the school in 5 minutes.
So Roynicorn has regularly kaiju battles with demons and devils and whatnot in Pathfinder. You do enlarge person a lot, or do you have it as an innate power? Buffy shook her head. No offense, but we'll get there faster on foot.
Oh, right. Yes, of course. Well, hurry along then, and try to stay out of trouble until we arrive.
Sure thing. Come on, Mickey. He watched the pair sprint away into the night, cutting through one of the town's many cemeteries. God help the vampire who gets in their way tonight, he thought grimly. Double size as a divinely granted power, and double size again as a magic item. Fun. Man. All this talk of angels and demons, too. Seraphim and archangels and whatnot. I need... It's making me want to run In Nomine again. That would be a fun one for this crew to play as a tabletop. You'd love it. There, John. There, Rain. It's okay.
No.
Rain, it's all right. People do house rules. There's this thing where different tables come up with little extras and tweak the rules in different ways so that they can, have fun. It's cool. You don't need to worry about it.
There you go. You can argue with the GM, but you can't argue with somebody else's GM.
Right? All right. Chapter 75. The very believable I'm not a scared review. I'm not. Buffy did her best to keep up with the hysterical devil girl as they took a shortcut through the center of town. The imp's wings were tucked up tight and she ran with her head down, as though expecting to be vaporized any moment. It was a valid fear in the circumstances, and Buffy kept half an eye turned skyward, watching for signs of danger. It was pure luck that she happened to be looking back when the sky was lit up by a white flash. She skidded to a halt, heart pounding, and Mickey did likewise. "What was that?" demanded the imp. "What's he blasting?" "I don't know," admitted Buffy. "It was back that way somewhere." Mickey bit her lip. "Giles?" "No, he'll be taking a loop around to the north. It's not them." Another flash lit the sky, and this time Buffy was sure she heard distant shrieks. "Could be he's found some vampires or something," she guessed. "There's enough demons and oogly-boogly things in town to keep him busy until morning at least." Mickey pulled a face. "I hope that's it. It might be he's looked around and decided the whole town's tainted with evil magic." She spotted Buffy's look and shrugged. "What? I mean, it totally is. I could feel it as soon as I arrived." "Yeah, okay, but what does that mean? What's he gonna do, destroy the whole town? Kill everybody?" "I don't know. I don't think angels are supposed to interfere too much on the mortal planes, but he could still do a heck of a lot of damage before anybody called him back." She frowned. "We've got to warn somebody." Buffy raised a brow. "Like who? The police? The army?" Mickey's eye brightened. Wait, is she missing it? Wait, why is just one eye? I'm confused.
Weird.
The mayor. He'll know what to do. "The mayor," repeated Buffy, deadpan. "Why would the mayor know how to handle an angel?" "Well, I don't know. He just seemed like a smart kind of guy. And, well, it's his town, right? If we're going to warn anybody, it should be the guy in charge." Buffy threw her hands in the air. "Look, you're wasting your time. He won't understand. Nobody understands. Nobody ever sees the danger until it's too late. And even then, if they survive, they won't admit they encountered something supernatural. It's just us. Just me and Giles and a handful of others. That's all we've got." "Okay," said the imp. "How about this? Would they believe me now?" Huh? The Slayer shrugged. "I don't get it. What are you... Wait, did you just drop your illusion?
Yeah, they'll have to believe me now.
She cracked a wry smile.
Can't pretend the supernatural's not real when there's a devil running around town.
The imp turned and ran. After a few seconds, she yelled, "Angel!" at the top of her voice. Buffy took off after her. Mickey, wait, you're going the wrong way.
Angel! There's an angel coming to blow up Sunnydale!
Mickey! Buffy had to yell to be heard. But eventually, she got the girl's attention. The school's back this way. Oh, he usually makes you want to dust off Diskia. Yeah, Diskia, that's another good one about, devils doing their thing in the underworld. They totally can.
Ignoring the supernatural.
Can't pretend the supernatural. Yeah, they totally can. Yeah, right. It's just what a great Halloween costume. Why are you wearing it? It's not Halloween. Yeah.
For Halloween, Mickey does actually dress up as a devil. She puts additional plastic devil horns on.
That's adorable.
What? I'm warning the people. You should go do the research thing without me. Is that like I'll be any help with the books and stuff?
Granted, but you're the only one with actual knowledge of these things. Until 10 minutes ago, none of us thought angels were real. Mickey blinked.
You've been hanging out with the devil, and you never figured that angels must be real too?
Buffy shrugged, blushing slightly. Well, sure, it sounds obvious when you put it like that. You've shaken our worldview enough just by yourself. I don't think we're quite ready for dealing with angels as well. Come on back to the library with me. We'll find some way to get rid of him, okay?
Okay.
One last go, though. Mickey took a deep breath, and Buffy quirked a brow. What? Oh, she turned away and covered her ears.
Angel!
Mickey?
Angel!
Mickey! Buffy turned and waved a hand in front of the smaller girl's face. We've gotta go.
All right, I'm coming.
Buffy grabbed her shoulders and spun her around. Guess who heard you yelling? The angel was a glowing white dot in the sky, growing rapidly brighter and larger as it headed in their direction. Mickey went pale.
Me and my big mouth,
she muttered, then turned and ran for her life, leaving the Slayer momentarily flat-footed. Yeah, even if they believe the supernatural and all that, why would they trust the devil screaming about the evil angel? Closest is the Powers, who are probably true demons that just happen to not want Earth to have an apocalypse. Yeah, I was like, who do you appeal to when you've got an angel kind of thing? It's like, ask the Watcher Council? Question mark? So it's the sort of question that comes up a lot in Buffy, like, wow, this really seems too big for us to handle. Who are we gonna ask? I think we're it. Buffy was pleased to note that she was marginally faster than the imp. Maybe her Slayer abilities were superior to the tiny mutant's Exemplar 3 status, or maybe she just had longer legs. Either way, she caught up to the girl as she sprinted through the bus station, still yelling her warnings to all and sundry. Mickey, stop! The imp stopped, and Buffy swerved into an alley to avoid running into her back. Could you stop with the yelling?
But...
The imp blinked and stared past Buffy's shoulder.
Oh, hey!
Buffy spun, heart still racing, to find a dark figure looming in the alley.
I heard you shouting,
said Angel, frowning intensely.
What do you want?
Not you, said Buffy, grabbing Mickey and pulling her into the alley. Him! The vampire followed her gaze and squinted up at the glowing figure.
What the hell? Down!
The little group scattered as a beam of searing white light scythed across the mouth of the alley. It stopped as soon as it began, leaving a line of scorched ground and burning trash. Angel stared, stunned.
What is that?
An angel!
hissed Mickey, pressed up against the wall. That's why I was yelling.
That's impossible.
He shook his head in denial. Mickey spread her wings and gave him a scathing look. If you say angels aren't real, I'm gonna smack you.
That seems fair, he admitted. So I guess it's here looking for you.
Yeah, is it that obvious?
Pretty much, yeah. What did you do?
Buffy slipped through the shadows to his side. We were fighting some monsters. They were invulnerable.
Monsters?
He asked.
You mean demons?
Can we not argue terminology right now? 3 monsters. They were indestructible.
Past tense.
He noted. Mickey has a magic pitchfork. A patch. She has a magic patch. She slapped it on their forehead and it drugged them somehow. No. Mickey has a magic pitchfork. She used it to kill one.
And the others?
Mickey sighed. That guy showed up and smushed them both. Typical angel, stealing the glory after somebody else did all the hard work. Never mind that I did exactly that just as Buffy is grumping about not getting to kill anything. I was not aware. 'Cause I'm me.
Incoming! Buffy shouted. The 3 scattered once again as the angel swooped down into the alley and tried to chop Mickey in half. Screaming in panic, she teleported away at the last moment, and the great blade clove through empty air instead of her waist. The angel landed, feet barely touching the ground, and it swiftly pivoted in place to track the imp's new position on the far side of the alley.
Fiend!
Boomed the warrior.
What devilry have you brought to this place? The touch of your evil lies on everything I behold.
McDevilry. Oh, anyway. Mickey blinked, indignant confusion cutting through her panic.
That's not my fault. It was like that when I got here. There's some kind of evil underground thing.
Lies.
He pointed the sword at her for emphasis, and Mickey frowned.
I sense the evil on you, the same evil that is soaked into the very land itself.
Of course it's on me, she protested angrily. It's on everything.
The angel clearly didn't like her tone. It lunged forward and took another swipe. Once again, Mickey teleported out of the way as the blade carved a deep furrow in the brickwork. It looked around for her, and its gaze settled on Angel.
Vampire.
It growled.
Unclean.
Angel was dodging even before the warrior raised its left hand to blast him. He dived and rolled aside, shying away from the bright light. Angel, get out of here! Buffy pulled him upright and pushed him away. Go! He hesitated.
I won't leave you.
One touch of that beam and you're dust. He winced, but set his jaw stubbornly. Buffy glared. Go find the others. Get help. Angel gave a reluctant nod and slipped into the shadows. The glowing warrior took a step to follow, but Buffy moved to block the way.
You would shield the damned? Foolish girl, reeking of malign influence. You merely offer yourself for judgment in his stead.
Mickey snapped her fingers, and the angel's attention was on here instantly.
Oof.
Leave her alone,
bellowed the imp, waving the fork.
She fights evil.
The infernal weapon was enough to attract the angel's full attention, and it swung the great golden sword at her head. Mickey's training kicked in. She used the fork like a staff, easily deflecting the blow and stepping forward to strike back at the angel's shoulder. The angel blocked with the silver shield, and Mickey's fork showered sparks where it struck. She yanked the fork back and immediately stabbed again, scoring 3 deep grooves into the shield's artfully molded metalwork. The imp's dark eyes narrowed as she spotted a weakness. She pulled away, switching to a one-handed stance, as she manifested a fresh copy of her ballistic shield. The white Baphomet symbol was a dark gray in the gloom, and Mickey clattered her fork against it in challenge.
Come on then, fight me. You're just another big stupid bully.
She braced herself behind the shield. I'm not scared of you. I'm not. She took a long breath. I'm not scared, she insisted. Buffy squinted as the imp wreathed herself in green flame, replacing her wrecked supersuit with a new outfit, a long-sleeved leotard, black, with ornate golden shoulder plates. A long yellow loincloth hung from her waist, the Baphomet logo proudly displayed in red. This was the outfit she'd been wearing when she sparred with Giles in the library, and Buffy wondered at the significance. The angel actually snarled, apparently recognizing the symbol, and flew into an enraged attack. Mickey spread her wings and leapt to meet him head-on. The golden sword flashed, the pitchfork stabbed, and the pair passed in midair. Mickey rolled with the landing, instinctively ducking under the angel's surprise backhand swing. She popped up to her feet at Buffy's side and raised her shield, ready to fight. Or rather, most of it. Fully a third of the heavy shield was gone, sliced off at an angle by the shining celestial blade. The imp blinked at it for a moment, before shrugging and dumping it on the ground.
Should have known that wouldn't work, she said conversationally. You just can't get decent shields these days, huh?
Her tone was light, but Buffy could tell she was poised, tightly wound, waiting for some sign, some opening. The angel's own shield was badly damaged. It wasn't completely ruined like Mickey's, but at first glance it looked like a dinosaur had been chewing on it. The angel twisted his arm and looked down at the shield, inspecting the damage. Mickey teleported in close and jabbed her fork up toward the angel's face. The sudden strike caught him off guard, forcing him to shove her away with the shield. But not before the fork snagged under the helm's brow guard. Mickey jumped back, and the angel's helm bounced on the ground with a ringing clangor. Buffy clenched her own weapon and wondered if now was her moment. But Mickey let her fork tip slightly, staring as she got a good look at the angel's glowing visage.
No way! Exclaimed the imp. That's impossible!
She shook her head in disbelief.
Kufriel?
Buffy and the angel stared with matching expressions of surprise.
You know this guy?
Hissed the Slayer.
Kinda,
stammered Mickey.
Me and Jack keep running into him. In other worlds, obviously.
The angel pointed his sword at the pair.
You claim to know me, Hellspawn?
Mickey frowned.
I know your name, and if you don't stop pointing that sword at me, I'm gonna feed it to you, hilt first.
Buffy took a half step away from the imp and stared at her in shock. Whoa. The angel, Kufriel, scowled, his eyes blazing white against the gentle golden glow of his skin.
You are an insolent child, and I will destroy you.
You're a thug and a bully, replied Mickey, and I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to be here on the mortal plane, especially not unsupervised. Do the powers know what you're up to? Where's Pharrell?
Who?
Your shield bearer. Last time I met you, she was carrying your shield. It was way better than that tatty old thing.
How dare you? I've carried this shield in battle for centuries.
That's what I said. Old and tatty.
The angel snarled and surged forward, stabbing his sword at Mickey's chest. She swayed aside and used her fork to guide the blade past her shoulder. It plunged through the brick wall, and Buffy took the opportunity to deliver a straight kick to the shield, pushing the angel and his weapon back out of range before he could attack again. That does not sound like obeying. True. The angel regarded her with cold eyes.
That was a mistake, mortal.
Mickey shook her head, disappointed.
What is it with you? Why are you always so angry? Always killing stuff? What's the deal?
Buffy raised a brow. You were just challenging him a second ago.
Look, I am deeply conflicted, okay? These guys break into hell and kill devils for sport.
The angel snarled.
I am a warrior archangel, sworn to destroy all evil.
He started to raise the sword, but changed his mind.
Rejoice, weak-minded mortal fools, for your salvation is at hand.
Translation, muttered Mickey. He wants to kill us and thinks we should be happy about it. She put one hand on her hip. Hey, what do you think will happen to me if you kill me, smart guy?
Nothing. There is no afterlife for the soulless.
Buffy tutted loudly. Look again, Sparky. Mickey's got a soul.
Tainted souls go to hell.
The angel spoke with grim certainty, but Mickey laughed. I was born in hell. I'm a devil, remember? A Zarada imp. You came all this way, made all this fuss, just to send an imp back home to hell?
You are lying. I know not what manner of infernal wretch you may be, but I shall smite thee regardless.
But why? Demanded Buffy. You're practically on the same side. Mickey works for a goddess, Verity, a goddess of truth and love and all that good stuff. Mickey nodded. She's really nice.
You have been deceived by this miniature hellspawn. Do you not see her horns, her tail, her cloven hooves?
Hey! Mickey yelled, indignant. Imps do not have hooves. I notice he didn't mention the wings, drawled Buffy. Angels are precious about their wings, replied Mickey in a stage whisper. In fact, the lower tiers are just messengers. Verity doesn't bother with them. She's happy to deliver her own messages. Kufriel narrowed his eyes.
You claim to serve a goddess, but she has no choir of angels?
Slayers are about as tainted as you can get, and Buffy went to paradise when she died, yeah? 'Tis true. 'Tis true. In one of... revealed in one of the show's best episodes. The musical episode. Who needs an army of useless minions singing your praises all day? The people of Verity's world love her, pretty much unconditionally. There's no rival religions, no crisis of faith. She loves her people and she's not afraid to show it.
Afraid?
And, since she's not wasting her power on a load of dead weight, she can spare more of it for her chosen representatives, her paladins. Buffy tilted her head and took a half step back. Wait, you mean you? Well, Jack as well, but yeah, mostly me. The imp grinned. Jack's her high priest. I'm her heavy hitter.
Lies.
Grated the angel.
Trickery and falsehood. You expect me to believe a goddess of love would empower a base creature like you?
Sure, why not? I'm a hero, pure of heart and totally awesome. I got wicked combat skills. I'm a master of disguise, and I've got a magic pitchfork. Kufriel bared his teeth and hurled himself at the imp. Dodging away would leave Buffy exposed, so she braced herself and caught the descending sword between the tines of her fork. A twist of her wrists held the weapon tight as she pushed it aside and down to the ground. Buffy shouted a warning and lunged forward as the angel raised his left hand ready to fire. She grabbed hold of the shield and pulled, spoiling his aim. The first flicker of light reduced the nearby wall to rubble. Mickey, still struggling to pin his sword, failed to dodge as some of the brickwork dropped onto her shoulders, driving her to the ground. The angel sang in triumph. A sharp shrug of his left arm sent both shield and slayer rolling on the ground, and he flexed his hand, summoning a blazing light into the palm. Buffy scrambled to her feet in time to see Mickey pull herself free of the bricks, staggering right into the path of the angel's beam. She screamed and squeezed her eyes shut as the alley was flooded with blinding light. Mickey!
Behold, mortals! Behold the fire of God's love!
Okay, we were at an hour and a half. How are you doing on time, John? Still
Full steam ahead.
clear to push through the end. Okay. I, however, need a couple of minutes of break because that has been a couple of chapters of a very loud, distraught Mickey, which tends to be a bit of a strain on the voice. So I'm going to switch.
Squeaky shriek.
Yeah, so I'm going to switch over to the Be Right Back for, I don't know, 3-5 minutes, get a long drink and a stretch, and then we will push through to conclusion after I've had a breather. Okay. And I am back. Hopefully a bit refreshed. And ready to push this onward to conclusion. I I sent John and Yuzu the dream log that I had been talking about. That was pretty fun one. There was something else that crossed my mind, but I don't think I mentioned out loud that I was gonna go dig up too. Now I'm gonna have to listen back to the whole VOD to be like, wait, what was it? Anyway, maybe it's gone forever. We shall see. Anyway, you ready to roll as well, John?
Yep.
Okay. So, chapter 76, the penultimate chapter, Nothing Like Me. Mickey! Buffy was a split second away from attacking the angel when she realized that something was wrong. Despite being pinned in place by the beam, the fire of God's love, Mickey wasn't dying or burning or even suffering. Mickey the imp was laughing. It began as a squeal of surprise, dipped into a low chuckle, swerved briefly into a giggle before erupting into a full-blown belly laugh. Right. You would challenge me to try to actually do this. So, squeal of surprise, into low chuckle, into giggle. No, I don't think I can. I'm not that practiced a voice actor. So.
Trying to do a Mickey-style belly laugh would be quite tricky.
Yeah, like... Something like that. I don't know. It was an attempt. Maybe a little bit too quick through the phases. Anyway, Buffy squinted through her fingers at the incandescent figure as Kufriel the Archangel stubbornly poured more and more celestial power into the energy beam. The fire of God's love wasn't working, and it didn't take a genius to realize why. Hey, Sparky, shut it off. She's absorbing it. Any second now, she's going to start the maniacal cackling and will be really boned. She trusted Miki to an extent, but who knew what effect that much power would have on the Devil Girl's already unpredictable mind? The angel didn't stop, and Buffy forced herself to step closer. You're making her stronger! That got his attention, and he shut down the beam. Mickey dropped to her knees, still wreathed in golden flames.
Impossible.
He snapped.
This cannot be. No mortal creature can withstand the full might of God's love.
We told you she worked for a goddess. Mickey shook off the flames and rose to her feet, still chuckling. You tried to kill me with love? That's how you've been killing devils all these centuries? The imp stood up straight, glaring at the angel. You're chosen to bear the most wonderful truth, God's love for his creations, and you weaponized it? The Archangel's proud demeanor faltered somewhat.
I am tasked to deliver this message to all of creation. The fact that creatures of darkness cannot bear the touch of God's love is fortuitous.
Cut the crap, Kufriel. This is wrong and you know it. When your superiors find out, they'll cast you down there and then... cast you down there and then. Go to hell, go directly to hell, do not collect $200.
200 what?
Mickey just frowned. Look at this mess, she continued. You're down here trashing the place where everybody can see you. You know that's forbidden. You're breaking the covenant. By taking action on the mortal plane, you're opening the doors for all kinds of biblical evil to come here and wreak havoc.
Evil's already here,
insisted the angel.
Maybe not wreaking havoc, but evil's always up to something.
Mickey glanced at Buffy, who shrugged. He makes a good point. What with the vampires and all, we're not short on the havoc-raising evil. Yeah, but not biblical evil. Nothing like me. The imp shook out her wings. There's a reason you've never seen a devil before, even here. They're all too busy in actual hell. Kufriel sneered.
You are here, and you're a devil. Perhaps I have acted in haste, but my aggression is justified. Evil must be purged from the book. You must be banished.
Mickey sniffed and cracked her knuckles. I just took a full blast of your ultimate weapon, and you still think you can banish me? Good luck with that, buddy.
I'm a warrior of the Lord. You will respect my wrath.
You're a messenger. You've twisted your purpose so badly you risk the balance of the cosmos.
I can still defeat you.
Mickey held out a hand and closed her fist, the fork materializing between her fingers. She used her other hand to beckon. I'll give you one shot. Do your worst. The angel hesitated, but slowly raised the golden sword. He glanced down at his discarded shield, but Buffy placed a foot on it and shook her head. Mickey idly twirled her fork. Oh, Kufriel, you remember I'm a Zaradai imp, right? You know we can teleport.
I'm aware of your capabilities, corruptor.
She shrugged. Okay, just checking. The angel roared and leapt into the air, his glowing wings unfurled, huge and mighty, and he powered high into the air. Both girls watched him go. Is he actually running away? Asked Buffy. No, he's gonna dive at me, force me to dodge, and use that as an excuse to kill you. What? This is what he does. Classic bad guy move. Kill a bystander, then say the hero forced his hand. Buffy started to pick up the shield, but Mickey waved at her to leave it. No need for that. Just let me explain the situation when he comes back down. The imp tilted her head for a second. You should probably be ready to duck, though. You know, just in case. Sure enough, as predicted, the angel changed course, circled around, and then began to dive. Buffy could see that he chose to approach from Mickey's far side, where his path would indeed carry him straight past the imp and into the Slayer. Son of a bitch, she murmured, clenching her fists. Forewarned was forearmed, but she did not like the look of that huge golden sword. It had cut easily through the armored bug monster. She had no doubts it would do the same to her. Oh, son of a bitch. That is the name of a song that has been kind of rattling around my head all this week. For reasons. She could hear the stroke of the powerful wings as the angel dipped lower and accelerated toward them. He held his sword out to the side, ready to deliver a wide scything blow as he passed. He's totally telegraphing his move, realized Buffy. He really does want Mickey to dodge it. A glance at the imp confirmed that Mickey had spotted the signs as well. Just as she'd guessed, the angel was planning the "now look what you made me do" line after killing an innocent bystander. She couldn't understand why a supposedly holy emissary would want to do such a thing, unless by blaming Mickey for Buffy's death, he somehow gave himself an excuse to exact vengeance on her behalf. There was a certain twisted logic to it. The attack, when it came, was sudden and shocking. Kufriel opened his mouth and somehow screamed a beam of white light, raking the ground in a straight line heading directly toward Mickey. The imp didn't flinch, and Buffy remembered that she'd seen this guy fight before. He foolishly thought he had the element of surprise, and it was going to backfire spectacularly, hopefully without Buffy losing any limbs. Instead, Mickey grit her teeth, took a half step forward, braced herself, and teleported. A tiny jump, just a few yards forward and to the side. She sidestepped the beam, bypassed the swinging blade, reached out a single hand and grabbed hold of the angel's wing. Freshly supercharged by the power of Kufriel's angelic beam, she clamped onto the thicker part of the wing and held herself completely immobile. Kufriel's rapturous expression turned to shock, horror, and pain as he stopped dead in midair, jerked to an undignified halt, like a man trapping his scarf in a car door. His legs flailed out from under him, and he crashed onto his back, twisting uncomfortably. The sword flew from his grip, spun through the air, and clattered into the street, missing Buffy by inches. She let out an explosive breath, glad she'd had the foresight to duck, and ran to recover the glowing weapon before any bystander stumbled across it. The weapon was surprisingly light in spite of its intimidating size, and the Slayer hefted it easily. She got the impression that the weapon was somehow helping her, if she wanted to smite something, Makisha, for example, it would happily assist. She gave it a shake. Less of that, you. She jogged back to the alley and found Kufriel writhing on his back. Makisha had twisted both his wings back and pinned them to the ground with her fork, much to the distress of the formerly arrogant Archangel.
Release me, you shrunken deviant! How dare you immobilize a messenger of the Lord!
He tried to reach back, but Mickey swatted his hands aside. No, I'm talking. You're gonna lie there and listen until I'm done.
Then get to the point,
Snapped the angel.
Your petulant tone offends my ears.
Devils don't choose to live in hell. They're just trying to get through life, doing the job they're born into.
You escaped.
He hissed. Mickey hunkered down next to him, shaking her head.
I was rescued, and I'm a special case. As far as I know, maybe a half-dozen devils have escaped to the mortal realm, and most of those were killed off or captured pretty quickly. The modern world is no place for somebody with horns, wings, and red skin.
And yet you've clearly learned to thrive here after turning your back on your brethren. How old are you? I know Zaradai imps lead short, violent lives. They're worthless. They learn nothing, teach nothing. They leave no mark of note, no lasting impressions. What could you possibly hope to achieve with your betrayal?
Mickey leaned close.
I was going to save the world. A magic ring showed me a vision. I would be best friends with the goddess, and without me, her entire world would fall into corruption and chaos.
The angel narrowed his eyes.
And this vision?
He asked more quietly now.
It came to pass?
A creature named Netherworld sought to usurp her power, corrupt her followers. He had the power to change people, bring forth the hidden evil in their souls. We beat him.
How?
By the way, Kufriel means cup of milk? Of God? Because EL means of God, right?
I just tried to pick a syllable that nobody would go, oh, right, that guy's already in the Bible and did stuff.
Buffy listened intently. This was the god that Jack had killed, but Mickey had never explained the story in any detail. Oh, cup of God. Okay, yeah. That makes a cup of God. Tasty. Slurp. Just a little bit of, primordial creation in a goblet. God is milk. God is love. God is milk. Milk is love. Transitive property. Love is milk. Love can involve milking. Oh, shush. Makisha gave the angel a warm smile.
There's no hidden evil in my soul. I am what I am. He saw how much power Verity had given me, and he was desperate to possess it, but I was beyond his reach.
Kufriel chuckled bitterly.
So you used your god's love as a weapon and destroyed your enemy?
Oh no, I just kept him busy. Jack killed him.
Buffy groaned. Giles, Xander, and Willow were frantically rifling through books when Angel found them. Sorry, I'm trying not to crack up at Yuzu's last comment there. I do what I do. I do it well, sometimes. Yeah, that's what we have you here for. That and the voices. Well, you can do those on your own. We all know that. It's for effect. It works very well. Okay, anyway. The librarian was muttering to himself as he picked through stacks of tomes that might, possibly, contain something useful. The fact that angels and devils weren't a common part of their supernatural world meant information was sparse and unreliable. The group looked up as Angel marched into the room, his leather coat flapping like a cape. Whatever you're looking for, find it.
fast.
If only we could.
agreed the Watcher.
I'm afraid the only trustworthy documentation on the subject is the Navarro account, which unfortunately concentrates much of its attention on entirely the wrong realm of activity.
You mean it's about hell? Clarified Willow.
Well, yes, rather. Isn't there supposed to be some kind of war?
Suggested Xander.
Heaven and hell battling for control of the earth? That whole sort of thing?
Giles removed his glasses.
Actually, no, not really. It's all rather amicable, according to the Bible. God trusts that his creation will be able to resist Satan's blandishments without any intervention.
Angel stared at them.
There is an angel out there right now trying to kill Buffy.
The three stared back at him and he rolled his eyes.
And Makisha, I guess. Whatever. What do we do with it? Or how do we get rid of it? Send it away?
Giles frowned.
It occurs to me that by rights, there shouldn't be any angels on Earth, for any reason. Most assuredly not tearing up the sidewalk with flashy displays of power.
Angel shrugged.
How does this help Buffy?
There are
Giles paused and hurried over to the reference section.
9 classifications of angelic beings grouped into 3 spheres.
He picked out a book and quickly began scanning through the index.
Angels, archangels, and principalities are the least powerful and most numerous of the heavenly hosts.
He flicked through the book and held up a spread page for Angel to see. The vampire scanned over the illustration.
Powers, thrones, virtues. I don't understand.
Archangels aren't warriors.
Said Giles, jabbing the page.
In spite of the armor and weapons, he's essentially an amateur. I see no reason to assume Buffy and Makisha can't handle this situation by themselves.
Willow's jaw dropped. But he chopped up the giant with ease. I mean, with a sword, but easily. Xander held up a hand.
Also, can I ask, is there anything in that book that says angels are supposed to have honking big space lasers?
The librarian blinked.
No, not in so many words. I've got some weird USB stuff going on here. My computer's making the reconnect, disconnect noises constantly, and I have no idea what it is.
Do you need a minute?
My camera's still lit up. My microphone's still lit up. It appears to have stopped.
Okay.
All my lights are still on. I don't know what's happening. Love uncertainty.
There's a Bluetooth device that is pairing and unpairing at just the edge of its range. Like your partner is wandering back and forth with some earbuds or something.
Everything I'm not using is turned off, I think. Fun, soldier on.
Anyway, yeah, here's the next line, so proceed when ready.
Jack who?
Asked the angel, but Mickey merely shook her head. Doesn't matter. You'll never find him, and if you're lucky, he'll never find you. He bristled at the implied insult, but wisely refrained from responding. Buffy swung the golden sword off her shoulder and let the point drop to the ground. So, what's the endgame here, Flyboy? Do we let you go on the condition you'll fly away home and never bother us again? How do we know you won't come back and start murdering folks? In fact, how do we know you haven't already? Mickey nodded. Let those bug monsters, though. That's totally okay with me. Monsters are fine. Heck, if you want to come here and kill vampires with us, help out the good guys, that'd be okay, right? She looked to Buffy for confirmation, and the Slayer blinked. Maybe? He's kinda conspicuous. She gave the angel an apologetic shrug. It's actually really a sort of secret war. Save the world without frightening everybody, you know?
I do not.
Confessed Kufriel.
Secrets are the first step toward deception and lies. They are forbidden.
Buffy narrowed her eyes. So, all the folks up in heaven know that you're here? Interfering in the mortal world? He hesitated.
Some do. My clade are aware. My compatriots would not care for it.
Mickey reached out and tapped a claw tip against his shoulder. Good thing you didn't kill me then. I've got a soul, and I'm a goodie, which means I'd have gone to heaven. I bet that would have raised some eyebrows. Buffy chuckled, imagining a baffled St. Peter consulting his list while Mickey ran around trying out harps and halos. Kufriel stared at the imp, aghast.
You would never be admitted to heaven.
He gasped.
You're a devil. That would be...
He worked his jaw for a few seconds, then closed his eyes and shook his head.
He gasped aghast, did he?
Sure did. Mickey nodded. I know, super not good. You thought you could send me back to hell, and I totally get that. You saw a devil on the mortal plane and decided to do something about it. I'm sure they won't punish you too badly for that. Good intentions, right? Buffy bit her lip. The road to hell was paved with good intentions, or so the saying went, but Kufriel seemed oblivious. Not very clued in on mortal culture, I guess.
That's right. I wasn't trying to kill you.
Claimed the angel, unconvincingly.
I wanted to banish you. As you say, back to hell.
But devils are mortal creatures of flesh and blood. We're not demons. Devils don't rematerialize on our home plane. You kill us, we're dead. And what about me? Asked Buffy pointedly. Don't think we didn't see what you were planning with that swoop maneuver.
I believe you to be tainted by evil. Most likely an associate of this devil. Perhaps even the one who summoned her to this plane.
I'm the Vampire Slayer. I risk my life every night to keep the world safe from monsters. The angel sniffed.
It is the nature of evil creatures to squabble among themselves. Claiming to fight evil does you no credit in my eyes.
Yes and no, respectively. An associate of this devil, but not the one who summoned her to this plane. Right, yeah. Mickey snapped her fingers for attention. Wait, never mind that. Tell me more about this banishing.
This is close enough.
Angel said, pointing.
Pull over here.
Giles did so, and the vampire twisted in his seat to regard Xander and Willow. The pair were sat in the back, clutching books and crosses. Who's this?
This
Angel?
is still Angel.
Do you really think any of that stuff will make a difference?
Xander stuck out his chin.
I think our chances are better than yours. I'm pretty sure a real angel's not going to care too much about you having a soul or anything, especially not when it hears your name.
So, Rain, yes, exactly what I said. The vampire grimaced, but nodded.
I'll stay out of sight as long as possible. But if Buffy's hurt...
What? You can get blasted to dust and die knowing you are completely useless?
Giles finally managed to coax the engine to a stop, and he pushed the door open.
If you'd be so good as to point the way.
Angel did so, his sharp eyes picking out that the alley in question appeared to be subtly illuminated.
It's still in the alley. I don't know what that means.
He left the group behind and melted into the shadows. He knew the area well. This close to the bus station, you were always sure to find vampires hunting. He scaled the nearest building and ran across the rooftops, circling around toward the alley. Yeah, the whole Slayer thing is actually a demon chained inside of the Slayer's soul or shadow or something. Yeah, the whole thing about, what the original sort of, I guess it would become the Watcher Council in time. Like, just how they made the Slayer. Yeah.
Shadow Men.
Shadow Men.
No one crosses the shadow thieves and lives.
Or the shadows who play guitar.
Right. Alright, chapter 77. Final chapter, Where I Belong.
I mean, fighting monsters is fun and all, but Jack's not here, and it's not like they need me for anything. It doesn't look like I'm here for any great mission, so I figure something's gone wrong and I'm not supposed to be here at all.
Giles slowly rounded the corner, careful to make no sudden moves as he approached the bizarre scene. Mickey was pacing back and forth, idly swinging her fork as she spoke calmly and quietly to an actual, honest-to-goodness angel. You know, that line, it would have been even more on the nose if it was honest to God, right? Anyway.
I avoided that on purpose.
You avoided that on purpose. The angel was an incongruous figure, sat on the pile of rubble, hands on knees, listening, glowing softly and clad in stupendous silver plate mail. The being's posture looked like he was sat on a mighty throne, rather than some tumbled brickwork.
You are a devil. By definition, I would agree that you are not supposed to be here.
Mickey nodded.
I think the town's bad magic interfered with the spell and dragged me off course. I mean, it's either that or I am here for a purpose, and that purpose is to drain all the magic and save the day. But everyone keeps telling me that's too dangerous, you know?
Giles briefly marveled at Mikisha's self-control. The celestial creature's unearthly perfection was utterly terrifying to behold, and he himself wanted nothing more than to duck back out of sight. He managed to press forward, however, clutching the largest and most ornate cross in his collection in one hand and an ancient Bible in the other. His slayer, he noted, seemed completely unconcerned by the angelic visitor. She was keeping a tactical distance, leaning against the wall on the far side of the alley as she kept a watchful eye over the glowing figure. She had one hand resting on the crossguard of the angel's giant golden sword. Even at 45 degrees, the weapon came to her shoulder. Mikisha turned on her heel and spotted him, interrupting her monologue to give him a little wave. The angel turned to follow her gaze, and the watcher swallowed.
Hey, Giles, chirped the imp. Come and meet Kufriel. We're hatching a plan.
The watcher quirked an eyebrow at his slayer, but Buffy merely shrugged. He turned and beckoned to Willow and Xander, bringing the pair out of hiding. Mickey beamed and made introductions.
Kufriel, this is Giles, Xander, and Willow. They help Buffy kill evil monsters. Guys, this is the Archangel Kufriel. He's here to help.
Sort of.
You mentioned a plan? Asked Willow. What kind of plan? Because angels can only do good things. I mean, I assume so. Is it a good plan?
Buffy sighed. He wants to remove Mickey from the book. Giles nodded.
By which you mean all of creation, yes?
Yeah, she drawled. But that's not the best part. Mickey wants to remove herself from the book.
Oh, I see.
The librarian blinked.
I think.
Mickey nodded eagerly.
We've been comparing deities, see? And Kus decided it wouldn't be any great sin for us to work together.
Xander blinked.
Even though you're...
He gestured vaguely.
You?
The angel gave a slow nod.
Aye, even though she is a low-born devil of the merest rank. The goddess Verity is outside my experience. But the fact that she has stolen a servant from the great enemy and turned her toward the light earns her favor in my eyes. It would not do to bring conflict between our two realities.
Going to write her out of the book, huh? So... Callista going to show up.
Oh, come on. The concept of Callista hadn't even existed when this story was written. Buffy grumbled. Plus, he zapped her with his holy fire thing and it didn't do squat.
It didn't?
Giles stepped forward, instinctively grabbing for his spectacles.
There are several angelic weapons mentioned in the Bible, such as the ever-turning sword and the fire of love.
Buffy snapped her fingers. That's the one. Turns out Mickey's immune. Giles plucked a handkerchief from his jacket and began polishing. Mikisha seemed to be remarkably unscorched, although she appeared to have swapped her clothing at some point, so he couldn't tell whether the manifested matter had also survived the attack. He peeked through the spectacles before popping them back on.
I'm fairly sure you should have been killed. I've read that only a being of exceptional holiness can withstand the direct touch of God's love.
Mickey shrugged sheepishly. Holiness? Me? I'm Verity's best friend, if that counts, but really it's nothing I'm not used to. I've been taking in magical power from a goddess of love for years now, direct from the source. The imp grinned widely. And I'm more charged up now than I've been in ages. I've got enough power to try my idea. But I'm not gonna. Kufriel frowned.
Mikisha was planning to use the local evil magic to open a portal to another dimension. Such an act is an abomination. It cannot be permitted.
Giles shook his head, agreeing wholeheartedly.
I wouldn't have allowed it either. May I ask the nature of your objection? Using so much power to open a portal, so close to the source of that power, which is itself a portal?
The angel looked at Giles as though he were stupid.
At the very least, she would tear open the portal here, such that it could never again be closed. She might have accidentally opened similar portals in countless other dimensions, with similar results. She could even tear apart the barriers that keep the myriad alternate worlds separate. All would be chaos and insanity. Nothing would survive.
Oh, that's more or less the concept of another setting that Callie writes.
Yeah, the peri-apocalyptic. It's like, we had the apocalypse. All of them. The Scoobies stared in horror. Buffy just sighed. So, yeah, it wasn't the best laid plan. Mickey pouted, scuffing her boot on the ground. I didn't know. I just want to get out of here and find Jack. I mean, this is exactly the sort of thing that happens when Jack's not here. She sulkily jammed her fork point first into the ground. I end up breaking stuff, or upsetting people, or obliterating the universe. Willow paled. So, what's the alternative? There is an alternative, right? Where nothing gets obliterated? The imp nodded. That's where the new plan comes in. Kufriel's gonna blast me with some more magic, and then we're going to open a portal using the power of love instead of evil.
The message should have a temporary dampening effect on the evil aura that covers this place,
explained the angel.
I also believe the use of love as a focusing force will allow her to pinpoint her target with greater accuracy while requiring less power.
So we're doing this all on the power of love, eh? Some rituals of Aphrodite we can enact, perhaps?
I don't think it's that kind of fic, Ad. Buffy shook her head unhappily, and Giles furrowed his brow.
Presumably, using less power means less of a magical disturbance as well, but is any of this even possible?
Mickey shrugged impatiently. It's worth a go, and it's the best idea I've heard since I got here. She beckoned at the angel. Come on, Kufriel, do it. Banish me. The angel sighed and got to his feet. He stood with his hands on his hips, towering over the assembled mortals.
I would like to state before we begin this foolishness that I am not to blame if any of you die horribly during this operation. I will also feel no remorse and consider my task complete.
Xander snorted.
Well, that's encouraging.
Buffy pushed away from the wall and handed the golden sword back to its owner.
Let's just get this done before we get interrupted.
A tense silence filled the alley. Mickey stood, outwardly calm, one hand on her hip, the fork in her other hand held loosely behind her back. She had changed her flashy outfit to a simple black dress, saying she wanted to make sure Jack recognized her when she arrived. She took a deep breath, then nodded.
Okay, I'm ready.
Without a word, the Archangel Kufriel raised his left hand and unleashed a narrow beam of scintillating white light directly into her chest. The humans, having moved to a safe distance, had to squint against the sudden brightness, but Mickey merely smiled. The magical beam was powered by love. Not quite the same as she got from her own dearly beloved goddess Verity, but close enough in nature, and love was the greatest form of magic. Even a close approximation held considerable power. Mickey let the magic fill her heart, touching her very soul, and she began to reach out, calling. Somewhere, beyond the boundaries of this universe, she would find Jack, her wolf, her guardian, her very literal soulmate. She threw back her head, closed her eyes, and howled. There was a collective murmur of surprise from the Scoobies when a second howl echoed faintly in reply. Richier? Richier! No, richer. That's definitely the sort of thing that Mickey might think of it as. Yeah, totally a richier howl. Anyway. Less pitchy than Mickey's attempt, it seemed to come from everywhere at once.
Was that an echo?
Asked Xander.
Or did I just imagine it?
Willow elbowed him in the ribs. Shush. Mickey's eyes snapped open, glowing with green fire.
It's working, she cried. I see him. No, Kufriel, banish me. Send me where I belong.
The angel stood tall, armed and armored once again in pristine silver plate.
So be it. Makisha Nichols, emissary of the goddess Verity, I banish you from this realm.
He spread his arms and called forth a swirling circle of light on the ground.
You will be cast down to the place where you belong. May you never return to this place, unless your goddess deems it important.
Mickey flashed him a smile, then stepped forward to the edge of the glowing disk and looked down.
Jack?
Willow, unable to control her curiosity, pulled away from Xander and Buffy to take a look. The glowing circle was a portal, down into a different world, a whole alternate reality. The portal apparently opened high in the air, looking down onto the top of a futuristic tower block, where a solitary figure in black fought against yellow armored soldiers. Gunfire and lightning flashed, cutting down the nearest yellow-clad soldiers, but more closed in, firing back with some kind of energy weapons.
That's Jack down there? It looks like he's in trouble.
Mickey didn't even pause for breath. She spread her wings and dived through the opening. Willow cried out in alarm, but she was too late. There was a flash of light and a sound like tearing paper, and then the imp was through, dropping like a stone trailing wisps of golden fire. She pulled herself into a spiraling descent at the last moment, curving around to kick a soldier off the rooftop. She turned and flung her fork like a spear, dropping a second soldier, before Jack even noticed she was there. But notice he did. Suddenly revitalized, the wolfman pulled out a short sword and rushed the soldiers, using their numbers against them. Up close, Jack's blade and lightning reaped a fearsome toll, while Mickey blinked between targets, lashing out with her deadly fork or powerful blows. Between them they dealt with the last of the troopers before coming to a complete halt. Jack stopped and stared as Mickey's last victim slumped to the ground, lifeless and broken.
Mickey?
The imp nodded enthusiastically.
It's me! I made it! I found you!
The wolf opened his arms and took a step forward. Mickey teleported into the hug, burying her face against his chest.
I've missed you so much, she said, and you wouldn't believe how I got here.
Willow watched wide-eyed as the wolfman looked up at the portal. He blinked in comical astonishment, then quickly let go of Mickey long enough to give her a casual wave. She waved back, blinking away sudden tears. Buffy and the others came over to look, but the portal was already beginning to fade.
Bye, Mickey,
she whispered,
Please try to stay out of trouble.
That's it? She's gone? No goodbye?
Xander gingerly tapped the now restored patch of ground with his toe.
Really would have liked one last hug.
Willow let out a huge sigh.
Jack was in danger, so she just dived straight in. There were soldiers with ray guns, and she saved him.
Buffy shrugged, still keeping her distance from the spot. She watched the sky just in case the angel changed his mind and came back to kill them all. She was a superhero. It's what she does. Xander frowned.
You mean she is a superhero? She's not dead, she's just
He gestured helplessly at the ground.
moved on.
Giles cleared his throat.
As much as I hate to interrupt, I fear we need to be moving along as well. Somebody's sure to notice this mess eventually, and we can't hang around here all night.
The Scoobies trudged over to the Watcher's car and got in.
Home, Jeeves.
Joked Xander weakly. Nobody laughed. The end.
There's an author's note on the end of the author's note.
Yeah. Do you want to read out the author's notes since you're the author now?
Scroll down.
Okay.
More.
Okay.
No, the bottom one.
All right. Yeah, if you're here from YouTube, I'd like to give a massive thank you shout to Kali Rania for reading out this entire thing on stream. Not go take a listen and enjoy the silliness at YouTube, blah, 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 the link.
No, read it out.
Hotups, www.youtube.com/watch. V equal 5-WUQHVT6ME and list equal PLJFEJL underscore VQPP underscore YQSP MWSA dash TXSAN QAF CBJP.
That was a pretty good television voice.
Very cute. I don't think anybody would be able to transcribe that because you didn't do the capitals versus the lowercase.
Other streams are available.
I have said somewhere that oh god, here. I actually can send it to you. Well, yeah. Oh, there's a comment that I put somewhere. Yeah, I don't know. I'll forward it to you and use it again because it's relevant to that very comment about Adelath having a TV announcer voice. Anyway, yeah, we did it. We got there. The end. Story finished. And yeah, we'll have to confer on what exactly we want to do next. Because while on the one hand, I do think I could use a break from Mickeyverse stuff. And there's other things that I want to read on stream that are maybe less relevant to your interests. But it would be a terrible shame to lose the fact that we've been hanging out and doing stuff together every weekend, which has been amazing. So, we'll discuss. We'll figure out what we can do. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Need to come up with a new character that's even squeakier.
No. I mean, in all honesty,
exclusively in bat screeches and dolphin noises.
Oh, no. Truly, though, I think it has been really useful voice training. Just, just working my upper register further and, just the variety of voices and, because voicing Miki is really good practice for, breath support because I have to put a lot of extra oomph into a lot of her exuberant utterances. And
it takes effort to make her sound that annoying.
Well, yeah. And just in general, doing this has been, I think, very good for me. for a while I was kind of neglecting my voice training, and I plateaued a bit, but I really like listening back to some of these streams, like, huh, I sound better. Okay. Imagine that. People can improve at things that they do a lot.
Who knew?
Right. But yeah, that does indeed bring us to the conclusion in a tidy 20 streams. And so thank you so much for sharing this grand creation of yours with my tiny little audience, our 4 or 5 regulars.
It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. And thank you to said regulars in the chat for showing up here so consistently and helping keep the chit chat lively. You are why we do this live. Thank you so much.
Yep. Thank you, everybody.
So watch my spaces that you are all part of, the socials, the Discord, for whatever I figure out to be coming next. This week, I haven't had any collaborations come together yet, but there might still be a Nier Automata stream in the offing. There might still be a solo stream of more Undertale Yellow coming up later this week. I just don't know what night. I haven't penciled in yet, so... Until then, my friends, live with honor, and your heart is unassailable. Don't do anything I wouldn't do.
And remember, this isn't the end. It's just a really long loading screen.
Let me go, there's no doubt. Gotta get out of this small town. You took my heart from me. Now you're everywhere I see. Set me free, let me fly. Let me find new kinds of highs. We're just wasting here, waiting for another year. We both know the score. We've been here once before. So many words unspoken. You took my heart, it's already broken. You don't have to wait. I can take the pain. I will surrender. Let me go on a new adventure. Space, explore the world and find my place. Hope you find some peace of mind. Hope the night was worth your time. Threw my heart away. We won't see another day. We both know the score. We've been here once before. So many words unspoken. You took my heart, it's already broken. You don't have to wait. I can take the pain. I will surrender. Let me go. It's a new adventure. On a new adventure. adventure.